Hey, welcome to my channel and to another meal prep. Oh, I got a good one for you this week. I'll tell you what, I'm excited about. I'm excited about this week's food. For breakfast is a new recipe, Chilaquiles El Rancho Merilita. It is from a food magazine that I had thrifted, and the recipe is from the Merilita Inns, or if it's the Inns at Merilita, one of the things in, I think it was Phoenix, Arizona. So it's their recipe. I tweaked it a little bit because I've already said it in the video, but I'll let you know up front in case you were thinking about making it. It needs to be made 8 hours or overnight ahead of time. Well, no fridge space. I don't even know where I'm going to put this prepped food. I got some major Tetris work to do. You hear what I'm telling you? So I let it sit at room temperature for a half hour. I think it baked up beautifully. I have a plate. You'll see it in the end, but I'll go ahead and show you. I have a plate sitting here because it makes 8 servings. I do not eat 8 breakfasts, so I'm saving out a breakfast for me and David and for RJ. RJ's coming over to help David do something today. So you can see I nibbled off of it already. Ooh, it's good. I don't know that soaking it overnight could have changed that flavor for the better. I really don't. Only thing I'll say it needs is salt, but I can add that here at the table. So that is breakfast. Lunch is one of my most favorite meal prepped recipes, and I've made it for you I don't know how many times before, but we're making it again today in case you're new. Garlic shrimp. Oh my gosh. It is one of my favorite things. I think I could eat, I'd get tired of it if I ate shrimp every other week. But sometimes I think I could. It's just that delicious. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just telling you it's that good. And this week, instead of rice, because my rice has like a tendency to dry out through the week, I thought, well, shrimp and grits is popular in the South, so why don't I just make some cheesy grits to go with my shrimp? And that is what I did. I made it with the stone ground grits, the last little bit that I had left from when we went to the mountains last fall. Surprising I had it last this long, but I did. So it's all gone now. I guess that means I got to go back to the mountains. Not that you can't buy stone ground grits down here, but an excuse to go to the mountains. So that's what I'm having for lunch. I'm looking at everything sitting over there, and I can't wait to dig in. Of course, no snacks. I'm just going to make like maybe some boiled eggs, or I don't know. I do have some carrots still. And if you saw one of what I eat in a days this week, I made the pickle dip with the ranch dressing. Oh my gosh. The non-fat Greek yogurt. I added a little mayo to it because I just like that a little better than the yogurt by itself. But I used the Trader Joe's pickle seasoning that they have out now. And it made just a good little dill pickle tasting dip for carrots. One way to get raw carrots down me. Not many other ways. It's a good old fattening ranch dip, but I'm trying to keep it healthy. So I ate it, and it was good. I enjoyed it. So anyway, I'll just do stuff like that for my snacks. I think I might even still have a cottage cheese left or two. I'm sure I do. So that's what I'm having this week. And let's just turn around and get started cooking. To start our chilaquiles, we need to get some cilantro chopped. I have not shown my cilantro tip in a long time, so I thought might be somebody new out there not familiar with this method. So do not undo your cilantro. Keep it in the bundle. Just get a regular fork and start raking down through. Now, you will sometimes get some stems, but for the most part, you're just going to get cilantro leaves. Okay, now you're going to have some left behind. You can get down in there and try to get as much as you can, but the way I figure, the ones left behind are just the cost of doing business. Now look here, you have all this gorgeous cilantro. Like I said, you'll get a stem every now and then, but that beats standing there and picking the leaves off of every single stem. So I'm going to chop this up and be right back. Now the recipe calls for 2 green onions. I don't use the whole green onion. I cut off that dark part because I just don't care for it. So I'm just going to use 4 of the mainly white part to light green part. Now for the main part of the casserole, we need 8 eggs. We're going to beat those around pretty good a little bit. Then we need 1 cup of milk, and I am using skim milk. I need to move this camera. Hold on. There, I had you a little bit too low. Chopping that cilantro. Now we need 2 cups of cottage cheese, and I'm using low fat. Let me get a spatula. Now we need 1 can of diced green chilies, undrained. I'm using mild. You can use whichever kind you like. Half a cup of the chopped cilantro, and the rest of it will not go to waste because we're having barbecue chicken flatbreads tomorrow, and it uses cilantro. So it worked out good that it was a piggyback recipe. 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. These are some little baggies I had pre-portioned in the freezer. And our green onions. And let's stir that around. Okay, now we need corn tortillas. The recipe calls for 8 corn tortillas. I only have the thin ones, so I'm using 10 thin ones cut into 1-inch pieces. I'm not great at judging size, but I think these will be okay. Now here's the thing. You're supposed to refrigerate this at least 8 hours to overnight. And I'm assuming that is so the tortillas will soak in the liquid and plump up. Here's the thing though. I don't have room in my refrigerator whatsoever for a casserole dish. So I'm going to let this sit out here on the counter while I make my shrimp and grits, and then just bake it from there. You can do it exactly like the recipe, and I'm sure you'll have different results than me, but it is what it is. Ain't that what they say? It is what it is. So we'll just stick these to the side and get started on everything else. Let me pop on here just to give you another little quick tip. Take your green onions, and if they're moist, that's fine. That's where I wash them off. Wrap them in a paper towel, and then wrap them up in some tin foil. They will last for weeks, I promise you. They will last for weeks that way. This soaked for 30 minutes while I was doing other things, and I can tell the tortillas started to plump up in just that short amount of time. So I'm guessing the overnight would do just like I said. It would plump up the tortillas. I think this is going to bake fine. It might have a little different texture than if I did. Well, I'm sure it'll have a different texture, but I think it's going to bake up just fine. So this will go in a 350 degree oven, uncovered, for probably close to an hour till it's browned and puffed up. Here it is after 55 minutes. It has started to brown around the edges, so I don't want to let it go any longer. It's all melty. I think it looks fine. On the top, it's starting to see the little places it's browning. It's puffed up now. You can see, as it cools, it should settle down like most egg dishes do. So I'm going to let it sit until it settles, has time to set up, and then we'll dish it up. Here is our casserole. I let it cool off enough. See, I can touch it. It's cooled off enough to touch. And you can tell how much it sunk down. Now this makes 8 servings. Now I'm going to hope this sticks together. I think it will. Oh yeah. Isn't that pretty? Oh, that's very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out 5 servings. I'm going to leave 3 in the dish. 1 each for me and David and RJ. RJ's coming to help David work on some things today. Let's start on our garlic shrimp. I am melting 1 tablespoon of butter. It's real butter. With a tablespoon of olive oil. Not olive oil. Avocado oil. You can use olive oil if you want to. You can use whatever oil you want to, really, but avocado or olive, I think, would have a better flavor. So we're going to let that melt. Then we will add 1.5 pounds of shrimp. I like medium shrimp. These are called small, but to me they look medium. So I've used large before because that was all I could get. And this was all I could get this time. So really, it works with whatever size shrimp you want. But get the peeled and deveined kind. You don't want the kind that you have to peel yourself. Then do a little bit of salt and pepper. And we are just going to cook these until they just start to turn pink. Okay, they are just starting to turn pink. And we need 5 cloves of garlic. Ooh! And I'm just using the squeezed garlic because it's just easier. That's about 2, 3, 4, 5. After all, this is garlic shrimp. And then our seasonings. Now, the recipe's on the website, but it's onion powder, Italian seasoning, and paprika. And we're going to stir these around a couple more minutes till they are almost done. Okay, you can see they are just about done. We need 1/4 cup of chicken broth and hot sauce to taste. I'm just going to use Frank's today. Texas Pete is my go-to, but I'm going to mix it up today and use a little bit of Frank's. And you can make it as hot or not hot as me. I don't like hot foods, but it does give it a little something. So I don't think I would skip that step. I would give it just a little bit of flavor. And we just want to cook them until they are finished. It won't take but a minute or 2 more, if that. And that is all there is to it. So next we will start on our cheesy grits. For the grits, I am using stone ground. It's the ones I got in the mountains. This is the last of it. You would use 4 cups of liquid to 1 cup of grits. I had 1.5 cups of grits left, so I'm adjusting the liquid. But just use, if you're using stone ground, 4 cups of liquid to 1 cup of grits. And what I did was, I put a can of chicken broth in my measuring cup and then added water up to the 6 cup mark. Now these grits will take a lot of salt. We'll salt them after it comes up to the boil. So just let this water and broth, just chicken broth, come up to the boil and we'll be back. Now that we got it going, we want to slowly add our grits. Stir the whole time. I normally make these in my little enamel coated cast iron because it's good and heavy. Well, this is a heavy pot too, but they don't really stick to that. But since I had to make extra, the pot's not really big enough. So we've got these all stirred in. Let's give them their salt. Salt to taste, but I'm telling you right now, grits take a lot of salt. If you don't salt them, You're not going to experience grits the way grits were meant to be experienced. Now, there will be some cheese in here that will add some to it. You can add pepper. Now, we just want to turn down the heat, which I already did because this cook stove, it stays hot a long time. And we just want to come over here frequently and stir these 10, 15, 20 minutes until they have softened and thickened. The grits are done. Now you can see I left them pretty loose because I'm making these for meal prep, and they're going to sit up in the fridge. When I reheat them, I'll just, if they're too thick, I can just put them in my bowl, add a little bit of milk, microwave them, stir them, they'll be fine. But to kind of help them from not getting too thick, like something you can slice and fry, I'm going to leave them a little thinner. If I were eating them this morning, I would cook them thicker. So now, I've already turned my burner off so I don't scorch anything. I have a cup of shredded cheddar and a cup of shredded Parmesan. And we just want to stir that around until it melts. There you go. It took no time at all for it to melt from the heat of the grits. So that's all there is to it. And I think I got way more than enough for the week, but I wanted to finish up those grits. Which, by the way, use any kind of grits. Use regular. If you don't like the gritty taste, Stone Ground will leave you with the little, individual grits. Use regular grits or quick cook grits. I wouldn't use instant. So anyway, that is all for the grits, and I will see you on the other side to see what we got for this week. Okay, let's look and see what we got for the week. For breakfast, we have our Chilaquiles, El Rancho Merilita. Then for lunch, I have garlic shrimp, cheese grits, which I saved some out for breakfast for us this morning, so I still have way plenty. And then a nice big juicy lemon to squeeze on each individual serving of shrimp. So that's what I'm having this week. I'm going to tell you, it's a good week. I'll be excited to eat all this food. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one.